Hi, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing sending messages and emails through eSchedule. So before we hop into our message/text members screen, we're going to take a look at Manage Distribution List here. So this can be found under your administration menu, and this tool is meant to allow you to create your own messaging lists. So to do that, you hit the blue plus icon here. You title this list however you would like. You can go through and select your users on the left and move them over to the box on the right. If you want this list to be visible and available for your other administrators to use, you will want to select agency as the type. However, if you want this list to only be visible to you, that is when you would select personal as the type here. And once you're ready to create your list, all you need to do is hit submit, and you will then find that list on your Manage Distribution List screen. And at any point, you can come back in here, click on one of the lists that you've created, and make edits here. So you can remove people from this list, you can add people to this list at any time, and you can even delete this list if needed. Now, looking at message/text members, also under your administration menu, this is where you'll go to send out your messages. So the first thing you'll probably do on this screen is decide who to send your message out to. There's two ways that you can find your users or those lists. You can click into the to bar here. In alphabetical order, you will see a mix of the lists you've created, so those custom distribution lists, lists that the program has created for you based on position names on your schedule, status or career type, as well as your users' names. You can also click this blue person icon to the right. And on this screen, you will see that all of your users populate up at the top. So to select who you'd like to send the message to, you can go through here and check those users. It moves them over to the right-hand side there. You can also take a look at just your groups here. Again, you'll see a mix of the groups that were created for you by the program and the lists or groups that you've created yourself. You can click these magnifying glass icons here to confirm who is a member of this group. And once you've made your selection, you can go ahead and save that. Now, there are 4 types of messages here that you can send out. The first one we'll touch on is email. When sending an email, you do have the option to blind copy all of your members. You have an all option under this list here, which would include everyone in your organization. So if you do need to send a message out to everyone, again, you've got that option there to blind copy all of your users. So when sending out an email, you just need to use these 2 email boxes here. So the subject box and the message box. There is no character limit with emails. You can do anything within these boxes that you would typically do with a standard email service. Links, images, you can play around with the font size, anything that you need to do here. So once you type in your subject and you've put your message here in this box, you'll have the option down here at the bottom to attach any files. And then you can go ahead and preview that message before you send it out. Now, if you're going to be sending out a text or a page, you can ignore these email boxes here, and you just need to use your text/pager box down here at the bottom. Now, one thing to note here is that there is a character limit with most carriers. Sometimes that can be between 140 characters to 160 characters. What might happen is your message could be sent out as 2 separate messages. So keep that in mind when sending out a text or a page. One thing you can do is send out an email and a text at the same time. So an example that we use often is in this text box here, you maybe say, hey everyone, please check your emails. And within your email message box here, you put in all the information that you would like to get across. The last message type here, just called message, this is essentially an internal message. So when you're using this message type, your users will only see this when they log into their eSchedule account. So when they log in, they'll get a pop-up notification that says they have one unread message. Please read at your earliest convenience. And they have the option to click into that message, and there's a box at the bottom for them to check that they have acknowledged that message. So then you, as an administrator, have a log attached to each message or a report that shows you who has acknowledged the message and on what date and at what time they've acknowledged that message. So this message type is great to use if there are reminders or any updates that you need to get across and that you need to make sure your users have acknowledged. So with this message type here, you can put in a subject, you can put in the body of your message here, and you can also set an expiration date. So what this means is the message will remain on your user's dashboard for them to look at or acknowledge at any point up until this expiration date. And at that time, this message will no longer be on their dashboard. Now with this message type, while it expires for your basic users, administrators will always have access to it. So if I go back here to my dashboard and I click this show all option in my messages box, I can see an old message in here that I had sent out. So under this stats column, this is where you'll typically see that list or report of who has acknowledged that message. You will always have access to this. So I can see these stats here. This is a printable report as well. Now, last thing to cover here, going back into our messaging screen. Once you hit this preview message, you'll have the chance to look over your message before you send it out. As I mentioned before, one important thing to note, if any of your users' names appear in red, that indicates that they do not have the correct contact information in their user profile. So they are either missing an email address or a text message address. So be on the lookout for that. Otherwise, let us know if you have any questions.